Hi, I'm Cher Johnston. Welcome to my happy place. I have a free pattern for you today. I was told that I should say that right at the beginning. Today we're going to talk about fabrics and lace and all the pretty things that you can put, that you can use in your slow stitch projects. This is a little flower I made with a button on top. I didn't grab buttons. I'll grab buttons a little later. I have all these lovely different laces. Yeah, I love this. This is Battenberg lace. I tea-dyed it. All right, let's just put this all away for just a minute. We'll get some of it out in a bit. This is not all the lace I have. That's just what I put in this bag for. This is a piece of a doily. I take doilies and cut them apart sometimes. And this is that other kind of lace that I call it wedding dress lace. I don't know what it's called. This is part of a doily. Let's leave those out because we'll use them. And let's take a piece of this because I want to use this as well. Okay. I have a free pattern for hexagons. I tried to go online and get like a printed page like this that you can use. You can't find one for free. I tried to get ChatGPT to make me something like this. This was supposed to be a 2-inch hexagon. This is supposed to be 1-inch hexagons, but didn't work out very well. So I have here a 2-inch hexagon, a 1-inch, and that's a 1 1/4 inch. That's a 1-inch square you can use for measuring. I will scan that and that'll be available on my Ko-fi site. These are hexagons. This I got with a pattern, with a kit, the white ones. And you can see they have little, they have pin marks in them because they're used. Not pin marks, they have needle marks in them because they're used. This one's not. And then I have some that I made that I cut from book pages. So we're not going to do, I'm going to show you how I use these in my slow stitching. Let's get this one. Let's do this. I have here a flat iron. I'm going to turn it on. You don't need a flat iron, but you know, not for this. You don't. So I'm going to get a piece of thread. You can glue based. You can, let's see, will this fit here? No. Let's, you know what? No, I'll use this one. Sorry, I seem so indecisive today. So you fold over the edge and tack it down, fold over the next edge, and tack that down. And I know I'm not the only one. We sit in front of the TV, watch YouTube, and you know, you got to have something to do with your hands, right? I don't know what I'm sure that there's some psychobabble thing for that. I don't care what they have to say about it. So now I have seen people who take these with the paper in it and just stitch it down to their project, like especially in a book. Which is cool. I like it. I'm going to bring that to the top, to the back, and I'm just going to leave that string. So you can either tack it down this way or on the back. And if you were using something like this, it might be really cool to just put it down there like that. And I have some somewhere. I had this all prepared the other day, and then, I don't know, stuff happens. Now I want to show you a different way to make a hexagon. This used to be a, this was an apron in a former life. And I cut it up and made circles. You can easily get a circle by just, getting a cup. Reminds me, I have tea. I'm going to drink my tea. I have one of those die cut machines that I use. But I make one and then I cut the rest with my scissors. So I put an X in the middle so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to fold that up, and you can just finger press. If you use your thumbs like I just did, if you use your nails like I just did, that is going to distort the fabric a little bit and it's not going to work right. So then I'm going to fold up this corner to the X, and you can finger press it in. Then I'm going to take this corner and fold it to the center. And again, you can finger press it. It's just faster if I use my little iron. Now, when you get to this point, those should be even, parallel. And then this should have a point. See, this one's going to be a little bit wonky, but you get the idea, right? Fold this in. And then you have, I think what may have happened is that that's not too bad. So then you can sew it down like this, or if it's ironed, you can just put it on your fabric there and tack it down with an overcast stitch. And we've done that before, so I'm not going to show you, but I am going to show you this flower that I made. Oh no, first we're going to make a yo-yo, because I want to make a yo-yo. I want to get one of these that doesn't already have, here we go. Here we go. These are still nice and flat. Let's make pink. Oh, no, I want to use this purple. I love this purple. The other thing that I sometimes use, this was a an apron. I'm going to cut that off and use that as well. All right, I'm going to get my purple circle and we're going to make a yo-yo. Let's see. Here's some purple thread I was using. I'm going to do a running stitch around the outside edge. Just fold the fabric back and forth onto the needle. You can do bigger stitches if you want. You could fold the edge over if you wanted a neat, sort of a neat, tidy sort of thing. That's not me. Well, sometimes it is, I guess. For me, slow stitch is often about the embroidery. I know for a lot of people it's about the fabrics and they collect vintage fabrics or they dye fabrics or they you know, they use lots of lace and okay, hang on. We have some wonderful bird song outside right now. My kitty is loving being by the window there. Okay. Now I'm just going to cinch that up and flatten it out. And there you go. Now you can leave it with a little hole in the middle. Sometimes I do that and do some. These look really cool with some drizzle stitch out the center. I'm going to kind of go through some of those stitches. I sort of like the thread to show. Sometimes, not always. Today I feel like letting it show. Okay. And then I'm going to use this one like this. So I'm just going to turn it over to the back and sew some little. If you do if you don't do these in advance and you just want to sew it down, you could just use that thread to sew it down. Okay, so we have our yo-yo. Oh, this is something else I like to do with them. So I took a bunch of circles and I sat in front of the TV, you know, watching YouTube, and I stretched them all out. I got little tiny pieces of thread all over the floor, and I just sort of ruffled them up and damaged them and, you know, all that. Now I'm going to take this one And come up from the back, and I'm going to make a little circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to draw a circle on there or anything. Just put a few stitches in. Like in the center, sort of. And then cinch it up. You can either make the bottom pop down, or you can make it pop up like this. And just play around with it, and you have a different kind of flower. All right, then, let me see. This one I didn't like. This one I took a long strip of fabric and wrapped it around a ruler and cut petals, and then ran a running stitch up the front, and yeah, I didn't like it. This one, I really like this one. So I'm going to take some of these. I'm going to take some purple ones, and I've done this thing. This one had there was a little hole in the fabric. I sort of like that. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to kind of fold it in half, but not really in half. I'm going to kind of bunch it up at the edge like that. And then, let's see, I have a smaller, circles somewhere here. Here we go. There we go. Put it on the edge of that circle. It would help if my, oh, it does have a knot in it. All right. Put it on the edge of that. And then I'm just going to go through it with a few little stitches. Now you could use a hot glue gun. But that's not slow stitch. Oh, that's a different thing. But you could, I guess it could still be, because there are no rules in slow stitching. Where's more of my, oh, I didn't do this. I did this with all the pink ones. Wait, there's one. Nope. I did this with the pink ones. I didn't do it with, let's just do this a little bit. And then just kind of bunch it up and stick it down there. And you only need a couple stitches. You don't really need a lot. And let's see, let's get a purple polka dotted one. I thought I did all these. I guess I just did the pink ones. Doesn't take long. And you can fast forward if you want. I sometimes watch people do junk journals or mixed media, that kind of thing. And this lady one time showed all of her papers that were just boxes and boxes and boxes of different colors of papers and different, like for collage fodder, I guess. And I just was not excited about that. It kind of made me cringe a little bit. So I decided that let's just put some pink ones in here. Why not? I decided that maybe paper crafting was not for me. So if you look at this mess that I have on my desk and it makes you sort of cringe, then maybe fabric crafting is not for you. Because I look at the mess of lace and stuff, and I just love it. I just think it's wonderful. Let's put this one in there. Sure, why not? Bunch it all up like that. Okay. I was going to keep this to 20 minutes, and I'm at 20 minutes right now. So the next thing I want to do is put some lace in there. And again, I'm going to just bunch it all up like that. And I'm going to kind of go up from the bottom. Let's get, this one's not down very well either. Let's kind of bunch this all up. And go through it like that and down like that. Yep. And sometimes I look at them at first and go, well, no, that's a mess. But you know what? I think it's just a lovely mess. And we can take this. So on the back there, I was just going through. It wouldn't go through, so I went up in a different place. And I'm going to tack that down there. And you can just keep messing with it. Like, I don't like this. I want to take that in a little bit more too. So let's just, and maybe if I had done it more slowly and carefully, because it is slow stitch. Okay, there we go. I like it. I like it. That's how I made this one. And then I put a button in there. And I think that's all I was going to show you today. Thanks for watching. Bye.